At first glance, the classroom seems ordinary. A whiteboard, some desks, maybe a projector. But within minutes, something shifts. Silence turns into conversation. Eyes meet. Words form. The room becomes more than a learning space. It becomes a stage for interaction. This teaching matrix presents snapshots from various lessons. Each class is different, with unique materials, techniques, and activities. In one class, before watching a cultural video, students talk about their own traditions and values. It's not just a warm-up, it's a way to connect content to personal meaning. So when they watch the video, they're not passive viewers. They're interpreters, critics, and storytellers. In another room, vocabulary isn't just taught, it's played with. Students move, point, draw, act, and say words out loud. Through games and physical response, language moves from the paper into the body. It becomes something they do, not just something they memorize. Even in writing-focused sessions, interaction is central. Students brainstorm ideas in groups, write individual drafts, exchange papers, and give each other structured feedback. Writing becomes a social process. It grows through dialogue, not isolation. Listening tasks aren't quiet either. Teachers pause videos, ask questions, and encourage students to take notes. After listening, learners compare answers, paraphrase their partners, or reconstruct what they heard. They're not just hearing, they're making meaning together. Speaking tasks show even more diversity. Students don't just repeat sentences. They interview, rephrase, chain sentences, build dialogues. Partners rotate. Tasks vary. Teachers step back and let students speak, but always watch, listen, and support when needed. Classroom management itself is interactive. Teachers use hand signals, claps, or visual cues to manage transitions. They move around the room, guiding, observing, nudging. The rhythm of the class remains smooth, but the control is shared. Group work is a core thread across the matrix. Learners complete jigsaw tasks, synthesize information, present different viewpoints. Sometimes they assign each other roles: note-taker, speaker, timekeeper, taking ownership of the learning process. Assessment, too, is dynamic. Teachers give instant feedback, correct subtly, or ask reflection questions like, "What part of this task was most difficult for you?" Students evaluate themselves and each other, focusing on growth, not grades. The classroom is no longer quiet. It speaks. It moves. It collaborates. In this model, the teacher becomes a guide, not the center, but the support structure that allows students to build meaning for themselves. Now, let's move on to a more comprehensive look at interactive English language teaching as a whole.
Pre-reading. Before reading, students warm up with a free writing task. They just write without stopping. Then comes a quick Q&A and some background info. The teacher wraps it up with a class discussion. During Reading Now, students read with purpose. They check their predictions, work in groups for jigsaw reading, and use tree diagrams or graphic organizers to make sense of the text. Post-reading. After reading, students reflect. This stage boosts critical thinking and helps connect reading to real life. Jigsaw reading turns the classroom into a puzzle. Each group reads a different part of the text, then teaches it to the others. This way, students rely on each other to build the full picture. To support understanding, Teachers often use tree diagrams or other graphic organizers. These tools help learners organize ideas, break down complex information, and see how concepts connect. Writing isn't just about putting words on paper. It's a step-by-step process that helps students think, plan, and improve their ideas. Pre-writing is the brainstorming stage. Students generate ideas, take notes, and plan their structure. Drafting is when they begin writing freely, turning ideas into sentences. Revising focuses on content. Learners add, remove, or rearrange parts to improve meaning. Editing looks at language, correcting grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Presenting is when students prepare their final version to share with others. And finally, publishing gives learners a chance to showcase their work in a real or digital space, building motivation and confidence. Interactive speaking activities are designed to help learners build confidence and improve their real-time communication skills. Students practice active listening, turn-taking, and natural conversation strategies through meaningful tasks. These activities also boost critical thinking, quick thinking, and the ability to explain and discuss ideas clearly. Teaching listening is more than just playing audio. It's a structured process that guides students through meaningful stages of understanding. We start with a warm-up to activate background knowledge and create an engaging atmosphere. Then come the pre-listening activities, where students explore key vocabulary, make predictions, and connect the topic to their own experiences. Next, they move on to listening tasks, which often include focused listening, note-taking, or identifying key information. Afterwards, students check their work through peer collaboration or teacher feedback, encouraging reflection and discussion. Finally, we have a follow-up, where learners apply what they heard through speaking, writing, or problem-solving tasks. This makes listening an interactive skill, not just a passive one. When teaching listening, there are some powerful tools we can use to make the experience more interactive and effective. For example, role play allows students to act out what they hear. This helps them understand tone, meaning, and rhythm in a fun and realistic way. We can also use TPR, total physical response, where learners move or react physically to instructions. This is especially useful for lower levels and builds confidence through movement. And of course, video-based listening gives learners access to real speech, body language, and cultural context. Videos can be paused, replayed, and discussed, turning passive listening into active learning. By combining these strategies, we create a richer, more engaging environment where students don't just hear English, they experience it. Teaching English effectively means more than focusing on one skill at a time. By designing